Welcome back to the Healthcare Rewritten podcast. Winter is coming, and today we're unpacking all of the different ways you can stay well through the holidays without relying on those immune-boosting powders and your favorite neon-colored cough syrups. We're going to teach you actual immune resilience that gets you through the winter bug season. If you're someone that catches cold after cold, this episode will teach you how and why your system might be inflamed and what you can do about it. As a reminder, this is not medical advice. This is for educational purposes only, and it does not replace a one-on-one relationship with your provider. So if you have questions about your condition, make sure to consult your physician. Now let's get into it. Welcome back to the Healthcare Rewritten podcast, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone. We had a little bit of a hiccup the past 2 weeks here because of the AWS server issue that kind of jumbled up when we're going to be recording this podcast. So we're actually recording out of order for the first time ever. That's fine.
Yeah.
So all the same information, just when you're getting the information is going to be the same time. Just when we're recording it, it's going to be different. So as we talk about like what we did this past week, it might be 2 weeks late technically, but a couple things that we did. We went to the pumpkin patch. That was a lot of fun, right? You know what I was thinking? There was this corn. It wasn't a corn maze. It was like the corn pit with like the corn kernels. I don't know anything about it, but like, do you feel like that was like a glyphosate contamination zone?
It could have been.
Because Vinny played in it, but like, I'm like, and we gave him a bath after, but I'm like, I'm really curious.
Now that I think about it,
right?
That's kind of scary.
I didn't even think about that until today. I was like, because I saw a picture of it and there he is in the background. Maybe you could hear him. But I was like, I'm curious if that's a factor. Yeah. Probably is.
That would be interesting.
So today,
even the pumpkins, sorry.
What was that?
Even the pumpkins.
Oh, right.
Could have been covered in it.
Right.
So, interesting.
But at least not eating the outside of pumpkins like you are with berries or, I mean, even like other you eat the skin of apples. Right. Okay. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk all about the immune system. Okay. I'm sure by now you've already run into somebody who is dealing with some sort of cold or bug and they say this, it's going around.
Or, my kid brought it home from daycare.
Yeah. The sugar's really going around. So we're going to dive into that. That's going to be our root cause rundown today. We're going to talk all about the immune system, what you can do, how to support your immune system health, and what we do.
Especially during the holiday season.
So let's get into it. Alrighty, we are in the root cause rundown, all about the immune system. Why don't we start with talking about common things you hear from your inner circle or family or friends when they're dealing with recurrent colds or a flu?
A lot of them struggle a lot with sinus infections, like recurrent sinus infections or postnasal drip. Or they say it's allergies and allergies that turn into like an upper respiratory issue. I think that's the most common one is the allergies turning into upper respiratory stuff, which then in turn can turn into lower respiratory stuff.
I mean, those chronic coughs always happen too. Like you said, they turn into something that's lower respiratory. And you'll notice this with someone who's like, man, every time I see them, even though it's been an entire week, like they're still coughing. Or you have that coworker where they're, in the office next to you or the cubicle next to you, and they're just constantly coughing. It's like, okay, like stop. Right. Yeah. But also it's really annoying if that's you, right? If you're constantly coughing, you can't focus. You lose your train of thought from that, and it sucks, right? Or constantly having to go wipe your nose or rub your nose, or you're constantly sneezing. Like that impacts your productivity, not just at work, but at home. And then you are afraid to go hang out with friends. You don't want to go do that kind of stuff because you don't want to get them sick. And so, right?
Yeah.
And what are some common myths? I know we have a Mythbuster section, but what are some common things that you hear? And I mentioned one in the intro here, and it's, it's just something going around.
Yeah, as if viruses and bacteria are only around for certain seasons.
Right. Yeah, everyone thinks that there's this like timeline that they live.
They pack up and go on vacation until the winter and they come back. That doesn't make any sense.
No, and it's a combination of a bunch of different things that contribute to this cold and flu season that we like to call sugar, no sunlight season, right? And stress season. So where should we start first? Should we talk about, we'll wrap it up with talking about how to support the immune system, but let's talk about causation. What are some of the big ones on your list? And then I'll talk about some of them on mine.
Like what's
what are some driving factors for why people are sick all the time? What the hell's going on?
Number one is definitely going to be, especially this time of year, is high sugar intake. We talked about this a little bit a couple episodes ago, about how sugar suppresses the immune system depending on how much you're consuming and what type of sugar you're consuming. Like, and this is mostly regarding refined sugar and ultra processed foods. It suppresses the immune system for a specific amount of time, which makes you more susceptible to infections. But yeah, so sugar suppresses the immune response, which again makes you more susceptible to bacterial, fungal, viral infections. So what's important to know is that we are surrounded by bacteria and viruses and fungi all the time. It's everywhere, but our immune system has the ability to keep it at bay so it doesn't cause an infection in your body. If you get an infection or you get sick and you present as symptoms, we always say that is an expression of health.
I agree. Yeah, it is.
There are people that I know that say they never get sick, and that's not necessarily a good thing. You know, I kind of lean more towards, either, you're autoimmune, you got some autoimmune stuff going on, your immune system's in hyperdrive, or there's something else that's in your body that's kind of taking all of the immune system attention, basically. I
mean, that happened with me when I was in my 3 year long Crohn's flare, right? I would have fevers all the time, but that's the autoimmune process going on. But I was never coughing. I was never sneezing. Obviously had no energy, but that was a different form of sick. I never got the cold. I never got the flu. And I was around people all the time. I was around patients all the time who were really sick. My immune system was so hyperactive, it just wiped everything out.
Yeah. I mean, this was during quarantine and stuff too, when I got the C word.
Oh yeah, you could say it.
I got it 3 times.
You could say it.
COVID.
Yeah.
I got COVID 3 times and you never got it once.
Yeah, we had a quarantine, obviously, right? And it was you, your roommate, and your roommate's boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I was just walking around like I was invincible.
You were fine. You never got sick.
I never even felt somewhat ill.
We all got so sick.
And I obviously, none of us had the vaccine or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. Just no 6 foot rules, nothing like that.
It's interesting. And all of our immune systems are different. And I think that comes down to obviously epigenetics for the most part. Some people are more likely to get sick than others. And that's another thing to understand is why are you more prone to getting sick? Why are you I'm using air quotes if you're not watching on YouTube, catching a cold more often than your counterpartner, right? There's a reason for that. So we just have to kind of uncover why. I think the most common thing that I see is mold.
Yeah, mold is a big one. You hit on the most important one, which is sugar intake. Now everyone is going to have a different cup of stressors, right? And different things fuel that stress response or disrupt the immune system process. Obviously, sugar is a big one, contributes to candida overgrowth in the gut. If you have candida overgrowth, you have undergrowth of the good commensal bacteria that help regulate your immune system by producing those short chain fatty acids. So you don't want to have candida overgrowth, that's for sure. Right. On top of that, I mean, the side effects of yeast overgrowth isn't going to help your immune system at all. You're going to be even more tired. You're not going to want to exercise, right? You're going to want to crave more sugar, which is just going to make your immune system even worse. So it's like this snowball effect that keeps happening, especially with candida and sugar. But yeah, you're right with mold. Mold is, especially mycotoxins, they're very suppressive. So they're going to suppress the immune system. They're going to suppress kidney function, liver function, which is going to help clear toxins out of your body. If you can't clear toxins out of your body, you have more of that toxic burden, which is going to put your immune system at even more stress again, and this snowball process keeps happening, which is why it's really important to not just wait. And we're going to talk about that today. We don't want to just wait until you get a cold and then start tackling it. That's what people do. They wait till something happens, they sit and wait, and then they're reactive, and then they're going for the Zicam, then they're going for all these different things, and they're sick and they miss work and they miss school, and like, what the hell? It's like, well, you just treated your body like absolute garbage for, well, the last year probably, but probably your entire life. And what do you expect to happen? Your body just never to make a mistake and get sick and then not recover.
Right.
And I know I'm on a little tangent here, but it's really important that you guys understand that if you are getting sick, like Lena said, that's a sign of health. That's extremely important. We like that you can come in contact with the virus or bacteria and your body makes a response and fights it off. That's really important. If you're listening to this though, and you have been sick, you've been battling that cold, that cough, sneezing, feeling under the weather for a week, 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight, that is a problem. That needs to be addressed. Those things that linger, you need to be finding out why that's happening, why your immune system is not strong enough to kick it in the ass.
100%. Yeah. And you touched on it in a great way, talking about how people wait until they get sick to actually do something about it. And then they go for those quick fixes.
Every time. And it's not just with cold and flu. It's with everything. It's with autoimmune disease. It's with chronic health conditions. It's with metabolic dysfunction. It's with heart disease. It's everything.
Yep. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. Well, like, and that comes to my point too, is that this time of year, especially, is when people are getting sick the most. They're not getting sunlight. They're eating so much sugar. I mean, we have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's. People are spending time with family. It's stressful this time of year. Stress suppresses the immune system. It is stressful. You're eating a ton of sugar. You're not getting sunlight. You're probably not sleeping because you're staying up late, hanging out with everybody because you haven't seen them in a whole entire year.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the amount of people that you're hanging around with, because everyone's like, oh, well, you know, I was in contact with all these people. Sure. And their immune systems can suck and they could, you know, be carrying a bug or a virus that lingers around in their system that they can obviously help, you know, transfer over to you. But here's the deal. The bigger issue than the person actually carrying it is them stressing you out, right? You not only do you have to stress out about packing your bags and getting on a flight and flying somewhere or driving X amount of hours to a relative's house for Christmas dinner, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, whatever it might be. That's stress in of itself. And then you have to go hang out with them. And not every person in the world is awesome, right? Not every person in the world is like stress-free. There's drama, there's family drama, there's so much shit.
Yeah.
Right. So then there's that stress on top of it. And then you're going to go ahead and eat a meal that's most likely going to stress you out because you're too stressed to tell them that you're gluten-free or dairy-free. So it's just like this, I'm going to use the word snowball.
Yeah.
It snowballs, right?
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I would only get sick once a year, and it was always after New Year's. Every single year from when I was 5 until I was 13, I would get sick every single year. It was like clockwork, me and my siblings.
Well, it's almost like your immune system is just like, it's holding on. There's this adrenaline. Your body's just doing all this stuff. And then the second all the holidays end, everything calms down, the dust settles or the snow settles. It's just like, all right, your immune system's absolutely taxed.
The adrenaline's
You're done.
gone. Yeah.
You're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. It's like the aftershock.
Yep.
The aftershock. Yeah. We would get the flu every time, like clockwork, every single year. It was and now that I think back on it, it makes sense why it was always that time of year. Because we took care of ourselves pretty much. Like we did the best that we knew how all year long. We were active. We went outside in the summertime. We ate not necessarily a perfect diet, but my mom and dad did the best that they could, right? But that time of year, the sugar and the stress and the staying up late and the being out of routine is really what did us in.
It's crazy. And I mean, now we live in Florida, so we have a different perspective when it comes to sunlight in the wintertime. But I remember in high school specifically, when I would wake up in the morning to go to morning practice for swimming, getting up at like 4 a.m. Obviously, you didn't see the sun. And then I went to class all day. We didn't do outdoor classes. I mean, especially in the wintertime. The days are already short as it is. A lot of classrooms didn't even have windows. And then after class, sometimes it would be dark depending on where you went to school. But then I went to practice afterwards. I did not see the sun except for literally on Sundays and maybe sometimes on Saturdays in the winter for sometimes 3 or 4 months. Right. And you could probably attest to the exact same thing.
Right. And then
we're kids.
And on the weekends too, it was always gray outside. Yep. So like you really didn't see the sun.
No.
You know?
Well, and I mean, not even like see the sun, but like I physically on the weekdays would not even actually see the sun or sunlight. Daylight. Right. So, and that was horrible for your immune system. Right.
Oh yeah. Trust me, like during winter training, you know how many people would be out sick that entire week? Because we're still stressing our bodies out by exercising heavily, and then obviously most of the time they're not sleeping. I mean, me personally, I would go to bed early during our Christmas break because I had to get up and go to practice. We had 2-a-days, you know, and so I'm exhausted. I would sleep as much as I possibly could to prevent myself from getting sick because you already feel like crap from training. You don't want to feel like crap because you're sick too.
And then when you're training, what are you fueling your body with? Because you're burning so many calories a day. What are you eating a shit ton of? Carbs and sugar. Yeah. So, yeah, they don't teach you how to eat. They teach you how to be an athlete in high school. They don't teach you how to eat like an athlete.
No,
they don't. I've had so many patients, so many kids who are football players, wrestlers, hockey players, every sport. We've had, kids across all the different sports. Right. And one thing that I notice is that their coaches do not teach them how to eat. And I don't think it's necessarily their responsibility. Obviously, in big programs, NFL, collegiate programs, you have trainers, you have nutritionists that are there to help with that. But in high school, you don't. And that's so fundamental. That's a fundamental piece. And I talk to my patients all the time. If you want to be an athlete, you need to eat like these athletes. You want to go and play Division I sports, okay, buck up right now. You're not going to eat the Cheez-Its and all the garbage that they're providing for you and having a pizza party every day after practice. Like that's not going to get you anywhere at all. You're going to get sick. Your bones are not going to thank you for it. Your joints and muscles aren't going to thank you for it. You're going to be behind. If you want to get ahead of the game and have that advantage, eat like an athlete.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
So it has nothing to do with this, but that's really important.
Well, I mean, your diet plays a huge role in the immune system, and you talked about this too with sugar impacting yeast overgrowth, candida overgrowth, our gut balance, our gut microbiome balance and dysbiosis contribute to a suppressed immune system as well. Where is 70% of our immune system located? The gut. So you need to take care of your gut to have a healthy immune system. When I have a patient that comes to me and they say, I get sick all the time. I can't beat this cold. I get the cold no matter what. I have a cold all the time. I have postnasal drip. I have recurrent sinus infections. I have allergies. Where am I looking? I'm looking at the gut and I'm looking at mold every time. Every single time. And lo and behold, guess what? There's some form of dysbiosis pattern. There's some mycotoxin in their system. There's some form of overgrowth in their gut, and they have terrible digestion, and they have leaky gut.
The bad news is they come to us, and it's the middle of December or January, and they're like, you know what? I'm continuously sick. I can't knock this thing, and we don't work the same. Our process doesn't work as quick as a Z-Pack.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even Z-Packs don't work half the time.
I know, but you know what I mean by that, right? Like the speed of noticing symptomatology decrease does not happen that quick. And well, it can, but dietary lifestyles, even some supplementation, which we will get into, can be really beneficial, not again, just as being reactive, but also being proactive.
Right.
That's so important. You can't just be reactive when it comes to your immune system and your immune system health, whether that's you trying to prevent flares for autoimmunity or preventing your immune system from being overwhelmed and overburned and constantly being sick.
What is your opinion on the word immune boosting?
Yeah, I don't like immune boosting. I like immune modulating. Like immune system regulation is way more important. Would you agree?
Yeah, I hate the word immune boosting. You can't boost the immune system. You have the immune system that you have. Like you said, you can modulate it, you can regulate it, you can support it, but you can't boost it.
Yeah, well, and usually the way that, a positive and a negative charge, right? You want to make sure that you're not causing immune system stress is the word I'm looking for, or things that take away from that immune system function.
Yep.
And that's what we've been, talking all about. It's the sugar, it's the stress, it's the environment, it's mold, it's
the gut.
It's the gut.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. I mean, like, is vitamin C technically immune boosting? No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it helps when there's a lack of, like, if you are sick all the time, you probably just don't have enough vitamin C too.
Yeah.
Or vitamin D or X, Y, or Z. So it's not like it's boosting, it's just getting to where it should be.
Right. Right. Or modulating the activity appropriately,
Right.
you know, like we talked about this, I think before, how vitamin C and sugar compete for the same receptor on your immune cells. Right. And so sugar will always outcompete vitamin C every time. And so if you're having an excess of sugar and you don't have enough vitamin C, right, you're going to have continual sugar binding to that vitamin C receptor on that cell, and it's basically going to turn it off. So the vitamin C is like a light switch where it's turning it on, but if you have sugar in place, it's going to turn it off.
Yep.
So you have no immune support at that point.
There is one thing that can boost your immune system. There's no research or data or anything that proves this, but I believe it's true. So, and if you think it's true, right, that can play a huge role in your health. You know what it is? Subscribing to the podcast. If you're listening right now and you like what we're talking about so far, you like listening to two people act like they're sitting in their living room, you know, talking about different topics, hit the subscribe button down below. Like this video. It means so much to us. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We are a third of the way there, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like this, hit the subscribe button. You can also share this. There's a little 3-dot button with an arrow. You can click that. You can send it as a text message to your family or friends, especially if you want to make sure that they're healthy during the holidays so you can hang out with them and enjoy the family time. But it means a lot to us. There's not a lot of science proving that if you subscribe to this podcast, your immune system is boosted. But if you want to think so, it might help.
What he said.
Yeah, right? There's a little ad for you. We don't do ads or anything on this podcast, which is cool. We can talk about what we want. The only ads and shout outs that we have are for our own podcast. So
yeah,
we'll say that
or the companies that we really like to work with.
Yeah, but they don't pay us for anything, so we can say what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So let's talk about the things that people typically gravitate towards when they get sick with a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like they run to the store.
Pedialyte.
Oh my gosh. Pedialyte, Emergen-C, Zicam. They grab vitamin C supplements or zinc supplements or elderberry supplements from your local Walgreens or CVS.
Cough drops.
Right. Tylenol, Advil, NyQuil, Dayquil.
How many of you have all of that in your house? Like, comment down below. Like, how many of you have a medicine cabinet that hasn't been cleaned out in years? Mm-hmm. Right? That you got one of everything. One thing I always used to use was that I would always get sore throats. So I would always have that throat numbing spray. Mm-hmm. We have a good one. Yeah. The herbal throat spray is amazing. Mm-hmm. And you know, it was that big red bottle that you get at CVS, and it had like red 40 and all this crazy crap.
Your neon cough syrup. Yeah. Yeah, that's disgusting. But there are lots of different alternatives. And there are things that I personally always keep in our medicine cabinet as far as like herbal supplements and immune support.
Why don't you talk about them?
Notice how I said the word support and not boost, right?
What are your favorites?
So my favorites, especially during the winter time, number one is elderberry. I love elderberry. Elderberry is great for either, you know, helping to prevent infection, but also when you have an infection at the same time. We take this whenever we get sick. I give it to Vinny whenever he gets sick.
Or even if you think you're coming down with something. And again, this is us to an extent being reactive, but there are other things that you'll mention that we take consistently on top of lifestyle, dietary, environmental changes to support your immune system long term. But you can also be reactive.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get sick. And like we said, that's an expression of health and it's a good thing. So you just want to support the immune system. It's not necessarily going to completely fight off the infection, but it's just going to support the immune system processes that help to fight off the infection. So when you get sick and present with symptoms, that is a sign that your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do with that pathogen, essentially. So elderberry is one of my favorites. Echinacea is another great one to take during an active infection. I always recommend echinacea. You can also take that proactively through the winter time as well. Really love reishi mushroom, medicinal mushrooms.
Yeah, shaga, turkey tail, they're all good.
Top tier immune support, top tier medicinal mushrooms. Reishi is my fave. Also things like zinc. You can take zinc during the winter season. You know, You could also take that pretty much all year. I mean, most of us are deficient in zinc, but make sure that when you take a zinc supplement, that it is not just zinc by itself, because it can make you sick. It literally can make you throw up and nauseous. So we will always want to have a good copper to zinc ratio, especially for women, because it helps us to regulate our menstrual cycle. So if you have an excess of zinc, you cause a copper deficiency, which essentially can cause a dysregulated hormone system, and then you end up with a bunch of menstrual problems. Think of like the copper IUD. It's copper for a reason, because it's causing a lower level of zinc in the body, which is going to disrupt your cycle, which is the whole point of having a copper IUD. So, proof in the pudding there. Our wellness zinc actually is made of oysters.
Yeah, so it's that perfect 8-to-1 ratio.
Yep, perfect 8-to-1 of zinc to copper, which is exactly what you want.
Yep. I'm glad that you mentioned the copper IUD. I talk to my patients all the time about that and connecting the dots there.
Yeah. Also, bone broth is great for the immune system. Bone broth. We do bone broth protein powders. You cooked rice with our bone broth.
I always, and we don't cook rice that much, but when we do bone broth, for sure, bone broth in every soup possible.
Every chili, every soup that we make, we always use some form of bone broth. Bone broth is very healing to the gut lining. So if we have leaky gut, you are preventing infections from essentially getting into your bloodstream, which is going to protect your immune response.
And bone broth is something that you can do in an 8-ounce cup. You could put some lemon in there. You could put some honey in there. You can make it your own. It's actually pretty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really good for your immune system, really good for the gut microbiome, helping produce those short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which is extremely important for gut lining integrity, preventing leaky gut, so on and so forth.
What's your opinion on taking probiotics when you're sick?
Yeah, so let me start here before I say probiotics, and I'm not trying to dance around this question. A common supplement that I know people gravitate towards when they're sick is oregano oil. I think oregano oil is extremely potent and strong, and sometimes people latch onto it for really long periods of time, or the quality isn't great. And that can actually disrupt good beneficial flora too, which actually help regulate your immune system just like an antibiotic. So I think that should be taken with caution. Now, when it comes to probiotics, I don't really recommend probiotics in general unless I'm seeing a stool test. Obviously, if you've taken an antibiotic, we want to re-inoculate that good bacteria. And that's a common thing that happens when you're sick. People go on antibiotics all the time. Some people just take them for the hell of it.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, now we're going to do probiotics regardless of what the stool test looks like. But am I a fan of just like going and gravitating towards probiotics when you're feeling sick as like a medicine cabinet? Or no? What about you?
I agree. I think people go on antibiotics willy-nilly all the time. You'll see any medical doctor will tell you this, that antibiotics don't work for viral infections. So stop going to urgent care when you have an infection or you have a cold or the flu and expecting to take an antibiotic. That's why they do the Z-Pack.
Right. Yeah. And we're not saying don't go to urgent care if you're sick.
But stop expecting to get antibiotics just because you have a cold. It's not always a bacterial infection. It's most often going to be viral related. So they're going to recommend something like a Z-Pack or maybe steroids in some cases, but they're never going to give you an antibiotic unless you have an actual bacterial infection, or unless some people actually might sit there and demand that they get an antibiotic, but it doesn't work for viral infections.
Well, yeah. And I mean, a lot of people, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you already have joint pain, you have headaches, you're overweight, you already have all these other things going on. When you're sick, it's the last thing you want. And some people are just like, all right, I'll do whatever it takes to just feel better right now. Mm-hmm. Right. They don't want to put in the hard work. So.
Right. And that's where like your immune system takes work all year, not just during the winter months.
So we talked about supplementation that we like. I don't think you didn't miss one that I would
maybe
say.
Vitamin C
and vitamin D. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with no sunlight, I think all of those are extremely important. I'm the big lifestyle guy. Like this is the most important thing. I'm telling you right now. I talk to my staff this way. I talk to you this way. I talk to my family this way. If you are sick, you need to sleep. Relationships aren't always 50-50. We talk about this all the time. They're not. If your significant other is sick, Okay. It's 90-10. It's 95-5. That person needs to sleep. You need to pick up the slack. I don't care what it's like. I don't care if it stresses you out a little bit more. That's why you should be supporting your body long-term and being proactive with that. So you're not, when you have to take on that extra burden of stress, you're going to be okay. Okay. I'd expect you to do the same with me. I might be a little bit more resilient there in that case, but if you're sick, I want you sleeping. Right. And people push through it. They push through, and then they're sick for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so on. And then it lingers.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. You have to sleep. You have to sleep.
Yep. That's the most important thing. It's restorative when you're sleeping, right? Your body's healing. Your immune system is actually regulating itself while you're sleeping. So
really important. So sleep, obviously hydration. People like to grab it. Don't do it, please. I don't know where this came from. Okay, here we go. Or clip this. Comment down below or like this video if when you were sick, you were told to eat crackers and Sprite.
Oh.
Where the hell did that come from? Like, why did we think that that's what it is? I mean, carbohydrates and sugar. There you go. That's going to help your immune system. That's going to get you feeling a lot better. Oh, it's all in stomach. No, it's not. There's so many other things that you could have done. Where did this old wives' tale come from? I want to know the lore of that. Plus, also, who's doing this?
I used to do that. Crackers and ginger ale.
There it was. Ginger ale or, a combination of something like that, right?
Yep. They're like, oh, it soothes the stomach. It's soothing to the stomach. It'll make you less nauseous. Okay. But I'm going to be sick for longer.
Yeah. And does it? I mean, ginger's great. Ginger ale.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why not do like a ginger tea or something? Why a ginger ale? You know, full like 50 grams of sugar in one can. Are you kidding? Instead of doing that, you could be doing like bone broth or
like that's where chicken soup can come into play.
Well, you could do chickpea noodles.
Yeah.
Remember, when I was pregnant in my first trimester, that's all I ate was soup.
Yeah, I made you a bunch of good.
I ate soup almost every day. I don't know why. We did lots of bone broth. We did the chickpea noodles. We shredded up some chicken. We put celery and carrots in it. I think you did like some spices and it was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do when you're sick.
Yeah. And your significant other should be making that for you.
Yeah.
That's the way it should go.
Or your mom. Or your dad.
Or your mom or your dad. Okay, so those are some things to focus on in the environment: sleep, eating the right foods. That's how you can be reactive with the cold and flu. Being proactive obviously takes longer, but that's something you should be looking at right away. If you want to look at your microbiome, if you want to see what bacteria are overgrowing and undergrowing, do you have all the good commensal bacteria? Do you have yeast overgrowth? How well are you producing those short chain fatty acids, digesting your foods? Are there parasites that disrupt your immune system? Are there mycotoxins? Reach out to us. We can actually run comprehensive testing, go through that testing with you, and then come up with a comprehensive plan to get your health back on track so you can be proactive with your health, whether that's with autoimmunity, recurrent infections, chronic colds, allergies, X, Y, or Z. We're here to help you. There's a link in the bio to schedule that complimentary discovery call if you want to learn more.
And if you want access to our holiday immune system checklist so that you know what to do to be proactive and reactive during this season, make sure you check out the link in the description below and get that download.
That's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started checking off some stuff on there yet?
No. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, because
throughout
we do it all year, but like I make sure that our medicine cabinet is stocked up with elderberry, echinacea, all of those things, the herbal throat spray, everything's stocked up. Also, one thing that you could also do is gymnema, because if you're eating a lot of sugar, you want to make sure that your body is reducing the absorption. So you make sure you're eating your protein and your fat first. Obviously, that's a lifestyle thing you can do, but take some gymnema, which actually reduces sugar absorption and it changes the taste receptors on your tongue. So if you eat anything sweet, it either makes it taste like crap or it tastes like nothing at all.
I mean, we could probably go, and have a long conversation about more supplementation. Astragalus, good for, again, that modulation, right? Also on top of that, OSHA root is also great, especially for respiratory response. So there are a bunch of different supplements that you can definitely consider. If you want a breakdown on the supplements themselves, the benefits that they offer, you can also visit our website. It has a breakdown of all the individual supplements, what they do, and you can order them right from our website if that's what you want. Again, this isn't an ad or a podcast where we're just selling supplements, but those are extra support tools that you have in your tool belt. If you want those, just make sure that you use the link in the bio to get those ordered.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that wraps up the root cause rundown. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that we touch on before we move on to the mailbag?
No, I think
I
think we covered a lot.
Yeah. All right. We're going to not dive into the mailbag. We'll dive into the Mythbuster section then. Awesome. Let's do it.
All right, we are in the Mythbuster section where we give you a statement and let you know whether it's fact or cap.
Let's do it.
So the myth for today is that with fertility and pregnancy, the women are solely responsible for the health of their fertility and pregnancy. Just them.
Nope. Men, get your head off your ass.
Wrong. Right? Fertility it's a partnership.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, you know?
Is that really the way that God designed us? Huh?
Right. I think it's so, it's annoying and frustrating to have women come into my office and it's just them and they're like, I want to get pregnant. I want to make sure my body's ready to get pregnant. And then their husband is doing whatever the hell he wants. He's eating whatever the hell he wants. She's doing everything perfect. She's avoiding food allergies. She's not eating ultra processed food. She's exercising. She's getting good sleep. She's managing her stress. And the husband just gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous.
And, quick little shout out here. And I'm sure that there are a lot that come to your mind, but there are a lot of really good guys out there too that come in with their wives or their significant others on these appointments, and they're doing all of the hard work too. If you're listening to this, you know who you are, and we are both really proud of you.
Yep.
And you should be really proud of yourself because that's a huge thing. And not only is it you're taking care of yourself, right? And I talk about this all the time when building healthy families, but you're setting a foundation for showing how you can show your kid to take care of themselves.
Yep. Absolutely.
Of themselves, right?
Yeah. I think we have to understand with fertility problems, 40% of the time, if you're struggling to get pregnant, if you're a couple that is struggling to get pregnant, 40% of the time, it's a female problem. 40% of the time, it's a male problem. 20% of the time, it's a combination of both. Okay. And I think men need to just take more responsibility for their health, because they are not only responsible for the health of the child, they are responsible for how well their wife does in her pregnancy. They are responsible for if she develops morning sickness. They are responsible for the development of the placenta. So if she has preeclampsia or gestational diabetes, the man's health is responsible for that in the pregnancy. And I told you this. I told you this when I got pregnant. I said, if I get preeclampsia or gestational diabetes, I'm blaming you and I'm coming for you. I think that in and of itself is kind of a light bulb moment for men. When I have couples that come to me to work on fertility, it's a light bulb moment for them. They're like, oh, I really do need to get my shit together because I'm going to promote the success of this pregnancy and obviously the health of the child.
Yeah, and something that I talked about last week on my Daily Dose show was that infertility rates are increasing every single year, about 1%. But also male infertility rates are increasing, and that does not get enough attention at all. A lot of this is going to come down to endocrine disruptors, metabolic health, things that you're putting into your body, and that is stuff that can be avoided for the majority of the time. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, not true. Guys, get your head out of your ass. Again, it's not all on you, but you need to make sure that you're doing your part and taking care of yourself too. Not just for you, but for your wife, for your future kids and the future generation. Show them what you need to be doing, because kids, again, they watch both of you, but they really do watch what the dad does. They really do.
Yep.
So
100%. And if you guys are struggling with your fertility, or you've been trying to get pregnant, you've done the IVF, you've done the IUI, you've done the shots, the hormones, all of the things, and it didn't come out successful. Let's try a different approach. Use the link in the description and schedule a free call with me, and let's get you started. I'll work with both you and your partner to make sure that you can build the family that you're wanting to build.
Yeah, you have a package, right? A
Yeah, our
consultation.
preconception planning package. So just remember, with fertility, it's not just about getting pregnant. The preconception prep is the most important piece. Because again, it sets you up for a healthy pregnancy. It sets your children up for a healthy future, because sick moms and sick dads make sick babies. So if we want healthy babies, we got to have healthy mom and dads. Moms and dads.
Yeah. I love that. So, okay. Again, all of those links for those resources are in our bio, but let's go ahead and dive into the mailbag.
All right.
Welcome into the mailbag section. We've got some letters, so let's read into them. We just got a letter. Okay. First one comes from the comment section of our YouTube channel. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. You don't need to go jump through a bunch of hoops. You can send them right down below. If you want them to be anonymous, you can send them to us via email or direct message.
Yep.
But someone asked, what can you do if you have migraines? Well, get adjusted, I think, is the number one thing that you can do. Regular adjustments, especially upper cervical adjustments, can be very beneficial. Not saying that that's the only thing you need to be doing, but that's a big one. And the other big one I would say is make sure that you're avoiding your food allergies. That's another common one I would say. What would you say about that?
Sometimes they can be hormonal as well. I do have some patients that they state that they get migraines during specific times in their cycle. Like usually ovulation migraines are a big thing, or even on their period. So it could be hormonal in nature, but just remember, hormonal imbalances are almost always a secondary problem. So we kind of need to uncover why that's happening.
Could be a blood sugar issue too, nutrient deficiencies, making sure you're eating enough, regular meals.
I know I get a migraine if I have blood sugar issues. If I ever don't eat, which I might be guilty of this every once in a while. If I don't eat breakfast, I get a migraine. I get a migraine by the middle of the day. Yeah. I always try to eat breakfast because I get like real shaky, and I get just very nauseous, and it's not a good day if I don't eat breakfast.
Really important.
Yeah.
So that was my question that I remember seeing. Do you have any that you wrote down from direct messages?
Yeah. So this actually has to do with medicinal mushrooms. Okay, so do mushrooms like lion's mane, reishi, or turkey tail actually help the immune system, or is this all just woo-woo?
It is not just woo-woo.
It is not just woo-woo.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't say immune system boosting, but I would say immune system support or modulation.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Also, things like reishi, they're very adaptogenic. So they help not only with the immune response, but also with your adrenal function, your hormone function. I recommend this a lot to my female patients. I take reishi pretty much regularly. Like that's like a regimented supplement for me. But you could also do things like chaga, which is really supportive to the immune system, or even just like a blend of like the mushroom immune that we carry is awesome. I have a lot of patients that do that Rise mushroom coffee, and they love it because you get coffee, obviously, but you also get the mushrooms at the same time.
Is it third-party tested for mold? It is? Okay, good. You should be making sure all your coffee is third-party tested for mold, and Rise is one of them, so that's good. Yeah, I would say reishi is probably my favorite. I love turkey tail as well. Obviously, there's a different one for every situation, but those are my two favorites.
Yep. Yeah, always, make sure that, again, with the immune system, though, you're not just band-aiding it with supplements.
What mushroom have we yet to say anything about? You just
cordyceps.
Yeah, cordyceps.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about cordyceps.
Yeah, cordyceps is a big one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so when it comes to, I guess I lost my train of thought here. I don't know which mushroom's the best for brain fog. Oh my goodness, I was going to say something so important.
I think lion's mane actually is the best for brain health.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, it's not necessarily that I forgot what I was going to say, but I want you to finish your thought, and then I have a thought, and then sometimes like.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I was just saying, like, with any supplementation, not just mushrooms, You don't want to just be using supplements as a band-aid approach to your health problems. You always want to make sure that you are getting comprehensive testing, functional labs to see how these organ systems are working cohesively together and uncover why your body is having certain symptoms. And so that way you can be proactive instead of reactive and prevent these issues from happening in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to do that, use the link in the description below to schedule a free discovery call, and we can chit chat about what that looks like for you and what your next steps are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That pretty much sums up the mailbag, unless you have any other questions that you got asked. I think I saw a lot of questions about thyroid on our most recent video.
Yeah, so if you have questions about the thyroid, I'll direct you here. Go listen to the thyroid episode. I believe it's episode 4 or 5 on the Healthcare Rewritten podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and watch that on YouTube. You can listen to that on Spotify. You can also check out our socials. Thyroid health is probably one of the most common things that we talk about on a daily basis. So make sure that you look at those videos. But if you want individualized help with your thyroid related issues, you are more than welcome to reach out to us.
Yep.
Okay.
All
right. Let's go ahead and get into the health homework.
Yep.
Alrighty, class, it's time for your homework. All right. So if we're talking about the immune system and immune system health, we need to make sure that we're talking about vitamin D. Okay. The tips that I give you are pretty practical and either cheap or completely free. 2 parts to this one if you want to support your immune system and be proactive. Number 1, go listen to the vitamin D episode. Really, please go listen to that, because there's a lot of good information there that talks all about vitamin D, which is extremely important. We didn't talk a lot about it today because there's an entire episode all about it. So please check that out. And then after that, get that vitamin D run. Take a look at where you're at, because if you are low and you don't live in an area where there's a lot of sun, you need to make sure that you're being proactive and supplementing properly at the right time so you can support your immune system. So that's my homework for you.
Yeah, I just had a patient today, lives down here, tested vitamin D. She says she's outside all the time, but her vitamin D is still low. Also, I'm going to add to your homework a little bit. If you live in a southern state or southern climate and you're able to get outside in the sun, make sure you're getting exposure to the right areas. So the highest absorption rate of vitamin D when you are exposed to the sun is actually your chest, your arms, and your thighs. So making sure those areas are what are getting exposed to the sun so that you have the highest absorption rate of vitamin D.
Is it a surface area thing, or why?
I think the receptor sites are just more sensitive in those areas.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyways, my health homework for you guys, especially for this holiday season, is to download our holiday immune checklist. Okay, so this will get you prepped and ready for this quote unquote cold and flu season, aka the sugar and stress season that we are approaching. So that way you are well prepared for if you guys get sick, your kids get sick, they bring something home, they quote unquote bring something home from daycare or school or whatever it is. But also this sets you up for a good new year at the same time so that you're not sick for weeks on end. And that way you have stuff on hand and lots of tools in your tool belt. That's linked in the description below. So make sure to check that out.
All free.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. You just have to prioritize it and put some time towards it.
Yep.
Awesome. Great pieces of homework today. We had our root cause rundown talking all about the immune system health. We broke down some myths when it comes to infertility. We answered some questions in the mailbag and gave you some practical things to take home to prevent yourself from being really sick or staying really sick over the holiday season.
Yeah.
What are we talking about next week?
I don't think I thought that far ahead.
Comment down below if you have a suggestion. I've been really trying to push going into the gut and the gut microbiome. I don't think that there's any pushback on that.
Oh, no. Yeah, we can do that because a lot of our November content has to do with the gut and digestion. So I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I feel like even 4 episodes is probably not enough.
We could do 8 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, we want to break down the gut because that's primarily what we do. We do a lot of stool testing. We've run hundreds and hundreds of stool tests. Like that is something that we can talk years about. So I want to make sure that we dive into that, especially, my history with Crohn's disease, and IBD. I think that's extremely important to break down thoroughly. So maybe we'll dive into the gut microbiome and gut health on the next episode.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you all for listening. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something.
I don't know. I don't have anything.
Well, remember, you have to say goodbye. You can't.
Goodbye.
Lena's endings to these videos
I know.
are
I'm
just like,
so awkward.
okay, bye.
Bye. It's like, what am I supposed to say? See you next time?
Yeah, I think
we need a jingle.
You do. You have to have something at the end that you stick with, that you say every single time.
Blue skid do, we can do.
That shouldn't be it. That's copyright.
I know. Bow, bow, bow. That's Stinky Thee.
No one knows what you're talking about. Stinky Thee is our cat's name. His name is actually Stinky Thee, and he sounds like that. So that's where that context is coming.
Clues.
No one knows what we're talking about.
I know.
So we should just do that. That should be our signature goodbye. Just start talking about random shit until no one knows what we're saying anymore, and they just leave, and then we don't have to say goodbye.
Right. See what?
But then they don't get to see the ending, right? If you don't leave yet, because I have a little ending thing.
Whatever. All right. Okay. So you know what? Here's my ending. Have a great rest of your day, and download literally everything that's in the description. Click every single link in the description, and we will see you next time.
That's way better. Goodbye, guys. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of the Healthcare Rewritten podcast. Make sure that you check those links that Dr. Lena put in the comment section below. Download that guide for the immune system holiday checklist. That's going to be extremely important for you. And then tune in next week. We're going to talk all about the gut microbiome, and then the series after that will be about the gut microbiome as well. I'm really excited to get into that section. And then make sure to comment down below what you like the most about this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss another episode. We'll see you all next week.